It's Pokemon News of the Week with your host, Bob. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokemon News of the Week. Here are tonight's headlines. A new Pokemon Center opens in Taiwan, lots of Tatsugiri goods are coming soon, and trouble with Tiffany and Co. All that and more in Pokemon News of the Week. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon News of the Week. My name is Bob, and here are tonight's headlines, and we've got a couple of things to talk about. Firstly, as you all know, Shiny Treasure EX is now finally out in Japan, and we have a lot of boxes, actually. We've got quite a lot of this up on the channel already, and there's even more to come. Actually, next week, I'm going to be opening up a package that I got unexpectedly from a fan of the channel, and also I've got a box battle with my wife. But this set has been absolutely amazing, and the cool thing is, they are basically reprinting these like crazy. Their first print run was pretty big, and they're just continuing to push out and push out and push out more stuff. I found out that basically in stores like Joshin and Edion, you're able to get about 6 packets if you're lucky, if you go within, I think, last week and this week. If you go to Yodobashi Camera, if you have a black card, so a black credit card, that means that you can then also get cards there. But basically, convenience stores have these in stock. So if you guys are in Japan, these are the sets to get hold of if you can get hold of them. And Paldean Fates is going to be coming out very soon in the West. I hope you guys have got your reservations on because these sets are amazing. And moving on to one of our main headlines for tonight, we're going to talk about some Tatsugiri goods. And it's not just Tatsugiri, it is also Dondozo, but there's a lot of cool goods and they're all around this theme of Tatsugiri and kind of sushi. And there's a lot of products coming out on January 13th. So yeah, if you want to get your hands on these, please keep it in your schedule, keep it in your calendar. These will be going on sale on the Pokemon Center online website and also in physical stores in Japan on January 13th. And there's a lot of stuff. I don't know the prices, unfortunately, so I'm just going to go through my list and show you what is here. And if we can get prices, I'll put them below each of these. But as of the time I found this information, I didn't have any prices. Firstly, there is a Dondozo sushi plate. This looks super cool, and I love how it's kind of flat with the Dondozo kind of coming off the end. Beautiful, beautiful. There's also a Tatsugiri rice spoon, so this is pretty cool. There's also a set of 3 plates. Probably these are sold individually, but this still looks quite nice as well. There's also a sake cup holder. These wooden holders are so that when your sake cup, they overflow a little bit. You get a little bit of extra sake in it. And you can probably do the same with tea, or you can put beans in it for Setsubun, which is coming in February. There's also a little teacup. This teacup looks adorable too. There's also some little pouch bags. These look quite nice. There's also some assorted stickers. There's a couple of A4 folders. There's also 3 different colored Tatsugiri keychains. These all look adorable. They're kind of like a teddy kind of texture. These look adorable too. There's 3 pairs of socks, so there's a lot of socks. There's also 3 stuffed toys, so like kind of like one toy with 3 stuffed Tatsugiris on it. This is cool. I love the tails kind of pointing in the air. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure how you'd use it. Maybe sleep on it or just put it in the background like these guys here. And then finally there's a cushion. So yeah, lots of cool stuff surrounding Tatsugiri. These will be coming out in the new year, so stay tuned, and if you want to get your hands on them, get your hands on them. And in addition, to go with this, the Pokemon Cafe, which is basically at some of the Pokemon centers throughout Japan, they're going to have a special Tatsugiri kind of sushi dish. This looks super cool. I don't know too much information about it, but it just looks awesome. And it's coming the same day. So stay tuned for that. If you're in Japan, try it out. And moving on to one of our big headlines involving Tiffany and Co. You guys hopefully remember a couple of weeks ago, we did a piece about the Tiffany green. And yes, I have learned the colour, not the greeny turquoisey bluey colour. The Pokemon necklaces that were coming out in kind of collaboration with Tiffany and Co. How do you guys think the release of that went? Do you think it went well? Do you think there was some problem? Comment below. If you commented yes, you're wrong. Of course, it didn't go well. Essentially, there was a bit of trouble with a YouTuber. His name is Hikaru. I've never heard of this guy, but I have seen his picture before. I'm not going to put it up here because I just don't really know much about him. But essentially, him and a couple of people were waiting outside of Tiffany & Co. in Tokyo for about, I think it was 3 days prior to the event, or kind of like the release day. And what he was planning to do was to buy all of the stuff so that then basically it could be resold online, or for him just to have it all. And Tiffany & Co, they were giving out like distributing like numbered tickets. So like number 1 is for first person, number 2 is for second, 3, and so on. they only had 4 Pikachu necklaces. And him and some of his kind of friends were waiting in line. They basically lined up in the first 4 tickets. They got their number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they left. So they went off and did their own thing for the day. Other people started lining up outside Tiffany and Co the night before release. So this is from about 9 p.m. And then in the early hours of the next morning, they come along and move to the front of the line because they've got their numbered tickets. But the people in the line didn't know about this. And basically what happened is that fights and arguments erupted. Eventually, he basically apologized for all of this and said, like, look, I'm totally in the wrong. And he gave up 2 of those Pikachu necklaces so 2 other people in the line could get it. But there's a bigger issue at play here. Firstly, it's just resellers going out and getting everything once again so that they have just dominance over that market. I mean, it is unbelievable, and it still blows my mind that companies haven't learned from any like kind of past lessons. So it's still so surprising. And Tiffany and Co, they also apologized for this too, and they said that they're going to learn from this lesson in the future when future events like this happen. But I don't know, I'll hold a little bit of doubt to see what happens if something like this happens in the future. So unfortunately, if you were hoping to get any of these necklaces, tough luck. But onto some more positive news. The Pokemon Center Taiwan finally opened. It opened up on December 8th, and this looks super cool. Thankfully, Taiwan is actually quite close to Japan. It's about 3 hours. It's a 3-hour flight, so I'm very, very tempted to go at some point. But from pictures I've seen, it looks awesome. There's a big Dragonite statue. There's like all these like kind of specific goods for Taiwan. And on release day, there were a ton of people. There's a blurred out picture here, so you can see a couple of people, but my god, thousands of people were flocking to buy specific limited goods. And they were basically going half just because it's a new Pokemon Center, but half because there was a promo Pikachu. And they've done these before. They did it with like a Shibuya Pikachu, which I actually got when Shibuya Pokemon Center opened. They did it with like the Kyoto one, which again, I have one of those too. And basically, it's just a cool promo. The promo card actually has Pikachu with like this kind of like purpley handbag on it. And I remember when I went to Taiwan for my honeymoon with my wife, I remember seeing quite a few people actually looking like this. So the stereotype really does live up a little bit. But of course, that promo card is being resold on resale websites for quite a bit of money. I think it started off at about 20,000 yen, and now it's hovering about 10,000 yen because more people are getting hold of it. But this is a pretty cool promo card, and it's just going to be a tough one to get hold of. But if you're in Taiwan, I believe they're still in stock for the next couple of weeks. I don't know until when. I don't know because I haven't been. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So fingers crossed at some point we can go to the Taiwan Pokemon Center. Now, in Pokemon card news, there's not really too much to talk about in terms of Japanese Pokemon cards, but we did get the official announcement for the English Pokemon set that's coming out after Paldean Fates. It's going to be called Temporal Forces, and it's coming out on March 22nd. There are going to be a couple of pre-releases coming out from March 9th to March 17th, which means that Japan is going to get quite a few spoiler cards for the Crimson Haze set coming out on the same day. This is basically going to be a combination of the Wild Force, Cyber Judge and the Crimson Haze sets, which are coming out on January 26th and March 22nd respectively. And it's so interesting because there seems to be a lot more simultaneous releases. And it spoiled a lot of cards for the Ancient Roar and Future Flash sets when Paradox Rift came out, which isn't a bad thing. But I just think it's super interesting that there's so many kind of like same timing card sets coming out. So yeah, I thought this was kind of cool. And we haven't got any reservations yet for the next sets coming out at the beginning of next year. Fingers crossed I can get my hands on some. So of course stay tuned for that. But regardless, this is just cool information. And then just final news, the Indigo Disk trailer came out a couple of days ago and it looks awesome. There is so much stuff coming in that DLC. It looks like you can catch all of the legendaries, all of the starters. There's a flying minigame with Miraidon and Koraidon. It looks super cool. And Iono's Magnemite? Like, it seems like you can trade Pokemon with some of the gym leaders. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming. And it does look damn fun. This is going to be releasing on Friday next week, so that is Friday 15th. Make sure you put it in your calendars, and if you haven't got it already, get your hands on it. I'm wondering, should we do a stream? I don't know. I haven't played many games on streams recently. Maybe I should. I don't know. Let me know below. And then finally, my card of the week. This week's card is going to be the SAR Gardevoir EX card, because this card is beautiful, and because I still haven't pulled this card. I want this card. It's so pretty. Not only is the Gardevoir just beautifully elegant, I love the Wooper in the background, and I love the little Pachirisu kind of like family sleeping in the bottom corner. This is such an adorable, adorable card. And honestly, it's still a little bit expensive. It's about, I think the resale price is about 10,000 yen. So the shop selling price is about 18,000 yen. It's a fair bit of money for the card, but it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. And this is my card of the week. But guys, that is everything for Pokemon news this week, and I hope you enjoyed this segment. There were a couple of announcements, there were some things that I didn't really talk about in too much detail, but I just wanted to provide some news to you guys. It has been a busy couple of weeks for me, and I have just had so much going on. I almost didn't film today, but I want to give you some news installment and just to show you what is coming. Like I said at the beginning, there's going to be a couple of videos coming out next week. There's going to be a kind of surprise Shiny Treasure EX opening, which is kind of cool. There's also a Shiny Treasure EX opening with my wife. And in a couple of weeks, there's also going to be the full opening of basically every set that's come out. And of course, I will try to keep you updated with as much news as I can for Pokemon News of the Week. So I will see you all next week, hopefully, for more Pokemon News of the Week. And yeah, also, I can't believe we are almost at 10,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, a couple of hours ago, we're at 9,938. So that means we are getting really, really close. So thank you all so much. I cannot stress how much it all means to me.